John Wick Chapter 4 is here. Now, is it one movie too many, or does it go above and beyond what a fourth movie should deliver? Hey guys, welcome to Marcus Loves Movies. My name is Marcus Lee and welcome to my John Wick Chapter 4 movie review. I absolutely love John Wick. I was so excited when I found out we were getting a fourth movie. But by the time you get to movie number 3, number 4, sometimes it feels like the filmmakers have run out of steam. So is that the case here with this movie? Well, I'm going to give you a quick plot outline, then I'll share my thoughts and feelings about it. With the price on his head ever increasing, legendary hitman John Wick takes his fight against the high table global as he seeks out the most powerful players in the underworld, from New York to Paris to Japan to Berlin. So the first thing that got me, and I wasn't aware of this news until I sat down to watch the start of the film, was the tragic news that Lance Reddick, a wonderful actor, wonderful man, sadly passed away a week before the film was released. He's been in all of the John Wick movies. He appears in this one as well. He's a wonderful actor who's been in some great films and TV shows like The Wire and Bosch, and sadly he is no longer with us. So my heartfelt thoughts and prayers go out to his family. So here we are with the fourth movie in the franchise, and we know with sequels we always have to go bigger in terms of the scale, the plot, the locations, the risks. They all have to be greater. I said when I reviewed Shazam Fury of the Gods last week that when we go bigger, it doesn't always mean a film is going to be better. But I'm pleased to say that with the John Wick films, the franchise, I'm pleased to say that this franchise is one of the rare cases where every film feels like it's gotten better than the previous film. And I'm pleased to say, I personally feel like John Wick Chapter 4 is the best film of the entire franchise. Now, you could argue that the idea behind John Wick is very simplistic. It's a shoot it movie. You've got a hitman who is our protagonist, although you could argue that a hitman is a bad person, but he's our protagonist, and there's always a ton of people who are out to kill him. So we often get scenes where it's John Wick versus 20 bad guys. It's got that classic 80s, 90s movie feel about it, where even though you've got 20 bad guys with a gun, they can never hit him, even from close range, and he always manages to take them out. And also when you've got 20 bad guys who could just take out John Wick in one go, there's 20 of them, take him out in 5 seconds flat. There's that classic thing where they seem to line up to fight him, so they never attack him all at once. They line up to fight him one by one, or they line up to shoot him one by one, and John Wick always seems to come out on top. Well, we know that because we're at movie number 4, so that's a good thing. So I love all of that stuff. It's even got your 80s style dialogue, so you see it in the trailer where someone says to John Wick, "You're going to die," and John Wick responds, "Maybe not." But all of that stuff, even though it's a little bit cheesy, it works because of Keanu Reeves' delivery. In this film, we've also got a blind assassin played by Donnie Yen, which takes me back to Rutger Hauer's Blind Fury, reminds me of Daredevil on Netflix. These blind fighters who are awesome. It's got all of those vibes which you are going to love if you love action movies. Now, what I think is great about John Wick is the world that they've built around this character. The whole idea of a hitman movie can be pretty straightforward, but in John Wick, we've got the High Table, which is this mighty organization of assassins which make all the rules. You've got the Continental Hotel, which is like this place where the hitman are based. You've got this rule of the families and how you can be excommunicado, and how you can fight back in for your freedom. All of that good stuff is in the mix. So they've really built the world around John Wick. Now, this isn't just a movie about a hitman going through several fights. John Wick Chapter 4 I thought was fantastic. I actually thought the plot, although it was a little bit long-winded, was actually really good. And I also think the direction of this film is top-notch. The directing is absolutely fantastic. It's often been discussed in the past that the Oscars should give out stunt awards, because it really is top notch. It's an art form. The choreography of the stunts, the amount of work that's gone into it is absolutely brilliant. There's a particular scene in the film where there's an overhead shot, like an aerial bird's eye view shot of some action going on in a house, where it's a character going around doing all of this shooting, fighting against these people. It feels a bit like a computer game, but it's absolutely brilliant to watch. That's not just someone saying, "Hey, let's think of a cool way to do this action sequence." It's It's choreographed to the hilt. It's absolutely fantastic. And I won't say much about the ending, but I actually thought the ending of the film was great. I thought it was very clever, to the point where someone on my aisle in the cinema where I sat said, hey, that's really clever. And actually a character in the film also says, hey, that's really clever. I thought the film was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Now, I do have some slight criticisms, and I think my biggest criticism of the film is that it's very long. Now, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. What I will say is I was never bored watching this film. I think the pacing is good. It doesn't jump straight into the action. It sort of builds up and you're building tension. So all of that good stuff is really good. However, I do feel like they could have shaved half an hour off. Some of the fight sequences probably could have actually been a little bit shorter, because it feels like John Wick has to beat people up several times before they're finally dead. I think they could have shortened some of that stuff. I also noticed that in true computer game fashion, as the film went on, you couldn't just shoot someone once to take them down. It's like they had to be shot 3 or 4 times because they'd keep getting back up. So, you know, like in a computer game where on level 1, you shoot a bad guy, they go down. But by level 4 or 5 or 6, you have to shoot them several times because they keep getting up even after they've been shot. So it's like the baddies are harder to defeat. But some of that stuff I thought could have been shortened down and just trimmed to make the running time a little bit tighter. 2 hours and 20 minutes, that would have been good. But this is how you do action. It's brilliant. I think it's fun. It's enjoyable. There were a couple of scenes that made me and the rest of the audience wince. There were a couple of scenes that made you want to clap. And like I said, I feel like this is the best John Wick movie so far. I just thought it was absolutely great. The story, yes, was a little bit long. There were a few too many links in the chain to get to where we wanted to get to. But overall, I had a great time watching this. And by the way, who knew that Paris had so many assassins in it? I think the next time my wife suggests going to Paris, I might say, you know what, let's maybe think about another location. So my official Marcus Loves Movies rating for John Wick Chapter 4 is, mini drum roll, 4 stars. I'm tempted to give it 4.5 stars, and maybe my feelings about that may change as the year goes on, who knows, but I definitely feel like this is one of the best action films of the year. There were so many scenes that I loved. I loved the nightclub scene, I loved the bird's eye view house scene, I think that was my favourite. I loved the stairway scene at the back end of the film. So I'd love to know what you loved about this film. What was your favourite scene? Or do you disagree with me? Did you dislike this film? That's all good as well, but just let me know what you thought about it. So leave a comment in the comment section. Whilst you're here, please give the video a thumbs up, and before you leave, if you like movie reviews like this one, if you like trailer reactions and film discussion, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate your support. So thank you for watching my John Wick Chapter 4 movie review. It's been emotional. Please stay tuned for the next video that I release, and I'll catch up with you again soon. So until then, take care of yourselves, and thanks for watching.